Well, welcome back to Everglades Canine Academy. This is Kevin, and today I'm going to be working with Rascal, and we're going to be working on some recall with the eCollar. If you haven't seen my last video about eCollar training, please go ahead and watch that. I give you a little bit rundown and introduction of how I'm going to do this. Today I have some other dogs as well. I'm going to be working with one of my clients' dogs that I'm boarding as hopefully a little bit of a distraction. And basically, what's happening is Rascal is getting very excited in his home condo with his owners, and he is running up and approaching other dogs and other owners. And really, what we're trying to do is we're going to keep it real simple. We're going to be working a recall with his remote collar. Okay, so yesterday we were working him on some low levels with just getting him back to us, and we're gonna kind of be doing the same thing. One of the funny things about Rascal is once I put on all his equipment, he is like really well behaved. Even off his equipment, he's really well behaved. But once the leash is on and the collar's on, he is like ready to train, and that's just a good it's a good sign of collar awareness. So I can't really knock him for that. But still, even at his home when he has his collars on, he's still getting a little overstimulated and wanting to go play with other dogs in the condo. But that's why they named him Rascal. But absolutely love this dog, love working with him, and we're gonna do everything we can to condition him to this e-collar. Now, he was conditioned as a pup, so we're kind of just revisiting it. He hasn't worn it in a while, and basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to let you know when I'm actually pressing the button and stimming him. But I'm gonna kind of let him run loose a little bit, and my goal is to let him run around with the other dogs, maybe sniff around, and then I'm gonna randomly press the button. And if he doesn't come back to me, I'm also going to use the leash to get him back to me, and then I'm going to mark and reward him. Okay, so basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to get him to recall with this e-collar. So I'm just going to go ahead and start walking around. I'm not going to give him any commands or anything. I'm just going to let him roam. You can kind of already see how much attention he gives me when he's got his equipment on. So here we go. We'll let him kind of sniff a little bit. And I'm not going to use any verbal cues. I really want the stim to come through instead of me telling him what to do. Okay. So I haven't pressed anything yet. I'm really just going to, sometimes it takes a little bit. I literally just got them out of their kennels. And let me fix my camera here a little bit. I got them out of their kennels. Pardon me. Thank you. Hi, how you doing? All right, here we go. Maybe I can even encourage some play. What's going on? Oh, good boys. So I got my dog out here, and then we got Jake right here. All right. So I haven't stimmed anything yet, okay? I'm kind of waiting because Rascal just kind of hangs out by me. I need to create distractions. And eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take him out into some public areas where there's other dogs. He's already formally met Jake earlier today, so they may already be a little desensitized to each other. But, this is, if you're e-collar training and you're working on e-collar training, it's good to start in a controlled environment. That way you don't have to put a bunch of pressure on the dog, and you can really condition. You can do more conditioning. All right. So let me see if I can get these dogs going. Come on. Go ahead. Good boy. It's so funny. Right when the food comes out, Rascal is like right by me. He won't leave my side. All right. And this is the one thing I like about food training is that he's a very food motivated dog. Even at I forget how old is he, but he's definitely not a puppy anymore. He's an adult puppy. But just even having food makes me more valuable, and you should try that too. If you're not food training with your dog, I highly recommend it. I know some trainers, they don't want to food train, and some owners don't like to train with food. I've heard well, I don't want to have to carry food everywhere with me. But Eventually you won't once your dog is conditioned and once you have like created that bond with your dog. But man, in the process of training, it makes training real quick. Train them when they're hungry. Train them until they're tired. That's the way to go. So let's see if I can just. So he's kind of just sitting there, waiting for me. Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can just use the. Let me see if I can just use the e-collar to recall him back to me. Right. So I'm just gonna use the e-collar. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stem. Yes, good boy. Right when he starts coming to me, then I'm gonna mark and reward. There we go. Try a little food on the ground. There we go. That was working yesterday. All right, we do want to have the leash in our hand when we're stimming. All right, stem. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. Stem. There we go. Yes. Good boy. Good boy. All right, here we go. We're going to put a little bit more food on the ground. There we go. Grab leash. Okay. Stem. Now I'm pulling on the leash. Yes, good boy. So I'm still having to kind of introduce the leash a little bit, which is okay. I'll go ahead and here we go. Here you go, buddy. All right. Now I want the leash in my hand because I don't just want to stim him. I want to make sure he has a direction that he can come to. And I'm backing up pretty far away from him. So here we go. Stem. Yes, good boy. He's definitely feeling it right there. And I'm rewarding by hand. Let's repeat this process, okay? Come on. Leave it. I don't want him itching his collar too much. If he starts itching his collar, there we go. Good boy. There we go. Throw some food in the grass. Hi, Jakey. All right, we're gonna back up. Stem. I'm gonna turn it up a little bit. Yes, good boy. There we go. Good. He's stimming pretty well on 4. Here we go. Throw some kibble in the grass. We're just gonna work him, okay? We're gonna work him. Stem. Yes, good. All right, I went up a level there. I saw a little bit of a head shake, so I'm going to bring it down a level. I went to number 5 out of 100. Now I'm going to bring it back down to 4 out of 100. All right, here we go. Boom. Go get it. All right. I'm stimming. Yes, good. And he's disengaging from that food and coming right to me. All right, so this is just an extension of what I've done yesterday. This is day 2 on the e-collar. This is day 2. All right, ready? Let's stim. Yes. Right when he looks at me, I'm rewarding. And I'm gonna tell my clients, no. Good. Good boy. Very good boy. And this is how he's getting his dinner today. Okay. Here he goes. Ready? I didn't stim. Here, I'm gonna stim. Yes. Good. He's just kind of auto recalling because I'm doing the same thing over and over. He's like, here we go. Stim. Yes. Good boy. So when he starts to drift, then I'll stim again. All right. I want to keep him by my side. Good. Yes. There we go. And as long as he's staying by me, then I'm going to reward. Stim. Yes. Good boy. Oh, he's got some chompers. Man, that dog is hungry. And I've been feeding him. There we go. So, as you guys can see, I'm on basically right now in these lower stressful conditions. I have him working on number 4. Number 4 out of 100. Not too bad. Sit. Nope. Sit. There we go. Come. Sit. Yes. Good boy. Yes. There we go. Good boy. Good boy. Jake wants some food. This isn't your food, buddy. You're going to have to hold out. Good. Okay, not too bad, guys. So now we're starting to see some progress here with this eCollar. All right, we're really starting to see some reaction to recalling. Here we go. Let's do it again. Stim, stim, stim. Yes, good boy. You see that? See that right away? You can tell he's feeling it. It doesn't seem like it's too high. He is reacting right away to the e-collar. What I love to see, this is why this tool can be so beneficial, but it needs to be conditioned right. I am not stimming him for punishment. Okay, I'm not stimming him because he's far away from me and I'm trying to correct him. I'm stimming him to remind him, hey, come to me. Okay, because you got to remember, I don't want him itching. I don't like him itching the collar because I don't want him to like move it. So you got to remember, in the dog's mind, okay, they may get, no, these boys like to try to hump each other a little bit. I got to break it up. In the dog's mind, when they get so excited to see another dog, they're so overstimulated that commands can go out the window unless they're properly conditioned, right? This is why we train, because in situations where things just start happening, we want our commands, we want our tools to work, right? This is why we're training. But when they're stimulated so much, or they see another dog and there's so much value in chasing that dog, even especially when that dog is like barking back at our dog and all that energy is just bouncing off each other and they want to meet and play or fight, whatever the case is. Sometimes your verbal commands, the dog might not even hear them because they're so excited. Or even if they do hear them, the value of running to another dog will override your verbal command. And that is when we're failing our dog. We're failing our dog. So this tool, like the e-collar, is basically like a invisible leash. Once conditioned right, that pulls them back, right? It's physically tapping him in the neck saying, hey, my owner's talking, and that will disrupt or interrupt his thought process. And you want to hope that the conditioning works, right? If you're conditioning properly, the conditioning should work. He'll stop what he's doing and he'll return to you, right? And that is like the beauty and the power of working with these e-collars, is that when they're done right and they're not just used for punishment, right? That's like the old school way. We call that like the hand of God training, right? The old school way is the dog's doing something bad, we turn this sucker up and light him up. And then the dog goes, oh, I never want to do that again. But you don't know what the dog is associating, right? The dog could think it's the grass, or the dog could think it's another dog, or the dog could think it's a human. And then you might start seeing some different behaviors around these different things. You really want to condition the dog properly at low levels with positive reinforcement, from rewards of what we want. We need clear communication for the dog. That's why I'm using the leash. That's why I'm using the leash, right? I've seen owners fail because they don't use the leash. They're stimming the dog. The dog is running around all frantic. You know, it's easy for the owner because like, I just want the dog to come to me. The dog doesn't know that. The dog's running all around trying to hide, and before they know it, they're just like flat on their back, you know, and that's you're failing your dog at that point. That's why we use the leash. We use the leash because we're stimming and then we're pulling on the leash. This is what I want you to do. This is what I'm telling you to do. And when the dog starts performing that, then all the pressure turns off. I stop stimming. The dog is doing what I'm asking, and then I'm rewarding them. I'm paying the dog for doing what I've asked it to. So that's how you start to get the good relationship between the e-collar communication with your dog, and that will ultimately give your dog more freedom, because once you have 100% confidence that you can recall your dog in any situation, then your dog gets a lot of freedom. Then you have the confidence. You're like, my dog can go 100 feet away and I just stim, 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 and the dog comes right back to me, right? And you can use these for the rest of the dog's life. But, you know, like once the dog gets to a certain age, or like your training is really working well, you know, all of these tools and food can just go away and you can just have a natural dog like my dog over here, with confidence of not having a leash or a collar. And, you know, when we talk about owner confidence, don't be overconfident too soon. I see a lot of owners, they work a couple weeks with the e-collar, they have some success. All of a sudden, they're like, cool, I'm going to go to the park, no leash, during the golden hour where everybody's walking their dog. And all they're doing is stimming their dog. Their dog's not listening to them. The communication is just so bad. and they think they have a couple good sessions and their dog just knows now and I got it, but it takes a little bit of time. Give yourself a little time. The leash is your number one training tool through everything. These are just here to help. All right, I can't stress that enough. Time and time again, I've seen owners, I've seen walking around with their remotes, and we're in group class and they're walking by with their dog no leash, and I can see their dog about to break. And then the dog breaks and comes and runs over to the pack of dogs that I'm training. And I'm over here like, recall your dog, buddy. And they're just stimming the e-collar and the dog is just blowing it off. Right? So, their dog is not ready for that situation. They need more practice. Okay. But you can get there. You can definitely get there. I believe in you. All you need to do is you need to condition with e-collar and leash if this is the type of training you want to do. And if you're diligent enough, mobile enough, ready to, all you really need is a flat buckle leash. All you really need is a leash. You can do all of this, but this will really help for certain dogs. And I do think it's helping for Rascal. I don't even do e-collar training for every dog. I usually just do it for clientele requests. And if they're requesting it, I kind of analyze their dog and I say, okay, your dog could be a good fit for the e-collar. Let's go for it. All right. So we got a couple good reps throughout the day. Rascals, he puts the equipment on and he's ready to train. So I think at this point, I'm gonna have to like take him out somewhere. I do have another dog that he doesn't know coming to board with me, so I may be using that. And then during his board and train, I'm gonna go see his owners. I'm gonna bring him back to his house, and we're gonna do a lesson there as well. So the follow up is inevitable. We have to do that. And if you are a young trainer, a new trainer, or you're thinking about getting into dog training, remember, it is all about the follow up. You really have to be honest with your clients. You have to, you could do all the work in the world with your dog, but the clients will need a lot of help. So I recommend doing follow up lessons. Whether that's in person is the best, but at least over the phone. Try to offer them some sort of group class if you can. That will, because at the end of the day, what are we looking for? We're looking for results, right? Everybody wants results, and results can be difficult to get in dog training because there needs to be consistency. And it's impossible for two different people to have the same exact consistency, right? I know that my clients aren't going to be able to do exactly what I'm doing. But my job is to try to catch them up to speed, to get them to do what I'm doing, to say it how I say it, to move like I move. All of the above really matters because that's what I'm imprinting on the dog and that's what I need to imprint on the clients. All right. So this is very much a people person business. Trust me when I say that. But with that said, we're going to go ahead and end the video there. Rascals had some pretty good sessions throughout the day. I've definitely been seeing some good responses on the e-collar with him. And if you have any questions about dog training, you can find me all over Google, Everglades Canine Academy. Feel free to call me. I have clients all around the country, and you would be surprised at what a phone call can do for you. So with that said, always remember, happy training, and we will see you on the next video. Come. Good boys.